Wow, so much you need to know about your health these days. There's so many treatments. You better find somebody who has the right plan. Stay tuned for this one, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. Your little castle show, Cardinal Cowboy. We put the hat on. We're going to put this on again for you here at some point. But as we get into this, health is such a critical. I mean, like say if you don't have anything else, if you have your health, things are good. And so often it really hits home for me as I think about it. But my dad was a wonderful guy, had scholarships named after him, helped thousands of kids go to college. But when it came to his health, that went on the back burner. Took care of his kids, took care of his wife. But when it came down to it, at age 71, 2, 3, whatever it was, 72, 3, he had a severe stroke, brain bleed. I saw the MRI myself, and it was just devastating at that point. But if he had been taking better what would be some of the things that could cause somebody to have a stroke that you could have helped them with regard to normal health and wellness?
So a stroke can be the source of a lot of things. I'm not an MD, so I won't speak on behalf of my business partner. But the bottom line is that having unhealthy lifestyles, building up adipose tissue, visceral fat, things that ultimately start to crush and squeeze on your organs, it's not great for your overall health. It stresses your body, it stresses the system, and the system eventually breaks down, right? It's just how does it break down? We know that by maintaining a healthy body weight and maintaining a good amount of muscle, that the long-term care outcomes and health outcomes for folks that are doing this type of program are much better than those who are significantly overweight or that have that just a real sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah, and so then he just one day a little stressed, like I said, and I don't blame anyone. I think that he should have taken better care of his body. But I talked to a good friend, one of his best friends, who I still keep in touch with, and he said, your dad just didn't take good care of his health, which is just crazy because you've got so many other things that you've got to manage, but one thing, make sure you can sustain. And but eating fast food and eating on the run and eating quickly and eating the wrong things, just added up over time, and his health had deteriorated. He had already been diagnosed with diabetes and gotten that back almost reversed, but the damage had been done, I guess, and so those are the things we want to watch out for. My mom, on the other hand, she's doing great. She's in great shape. She physically, she's probably, she would say she needs to lose a couple pounds, but
yeah, most of us do.
But isn't that true for everybody? But in her case, she's been tested by doctors, and her heart rate is good, and those kinds of things.
That's great.
How often is it the difference men suffer from these, because testosterone and just the design of the male body is different?
So we talk about this a lot, right? Women are made. There's the stigma around, let's call it andropause for men and menopause for women, right? So first of all, what you said about your dad, always putting everything else first, right? That's kind of what we're trained to do as men. That's servant leadership, right? That means that we're, leaders eat last, and I get that. At the same time, if you got to get pulled out of the fight, you're no good to anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line for men, is we're not taught to take care of each other. We're not taught to take care of ourselves. We're taught to do that last. And then women have it the same way, except now that there's TRT clinics on every corner. We're still, when it comes to treating women for menopause, we're like, oh, that's just 15 years of your life or so that you need to figure it out. The symptoms are different. The causes are a little different. The treatments are pretty similar though, and it's restoring something natural from your body to an optimal level and having optimal performance again. Yeah.
Okay. What might be some of the certifications that people should look for or recommend with regard to qualifications? You've got a medical doctor who's licensed at part of your office. What else do you guys offer?
So anytime you're doing hormones, testosterone at least, that's what's called a Schedule III drug, right? So there's a physician signing for that somewhere, right? I would ask, where is that person? Does that person work here? Missouri is a state that doesn't have what's called corporate practice of medicine doctrine. It's the only reason I can own 50% of Ignite, because I'm not a licensed physician. So anybody in Missouri can own a medical business and then hire a medical director. And I won't dive down that rabbit hole. Suffice it to say, when we created Ignite Performance and Health, we wanted it to be a physician-led program where you see real doctors and a real doctor manages the practice, right? So I guess that's one big difference. The other things sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm listening. But yeah, that was the emphasis is the doctor that's leading the charge here, and he's on site with you.
Yeah, not that there is a doctor on the paperwork somewhere or on a tiny line in the bottom of an FAQ
Right.
answer on the website.
He does a WebMD somewhere
right.
from another state.
Is it his practice? Is it his DEA number that's hanging there? Does he actually review the patient charts? Does he actually see a percentage of the patients? Is it a legitimate care first medical business? The hard part is that even when you're into a concierge care type of business, most of these places have a quantitative model, right? We get this many people on subscription and we make this much money, right? We take a more qualitative approach. We know we can only have so many clients and we want to take care of them. We've combined concierge medicine when it comes to hormone therapy and GLP-1 weight loss with concierge fitness and nutrition, right? So when you come to us, you're getting some of the very best people you can find in any of these topics to basically general contract your body transformation for you.
Yeah, that to me is what kind of caught my attention, because it seems a lot of places they just like, oh yeah, you just need some testosterone and you're going to be good. But that impacts other things, and then they tie together, and then you've got now the weight loss thing. GLP-1 has become such the rage now. But then how does that impact the body, and it doesn't coincide with the other things you're doing? You need to get that whole holistic picture of it.
We use, in the combination of science, strength, and nutrition, we've called it the ignition sequence, right? How we really help people blast through these barriers that they've had with their bodies, this hump that they can't get back over, right? And it's the combination of all of the things being used under the supervision of a physician, right? So we're making data-driven decisions about your training, about your nutrition, about your blood work, about your medication protocols, and it's all tied together. It's not like one thing is disparate from the other over here, right? We know how many calories we can restrict you to, so we know how much protein you need to get versus how many carbohydrates and fats you need. We know when in your day you're going to need them. We know how many days of recovery you need between a workout when your hormones are optimized like they are. These are things that without having done them yourself, it's hard to know. And that's what we're basically, that's the differentiation of what you get with us.
Yeah, I'm looking at Derek. He's in shape and a fit guy here, and so that's who you would want to listen to versus somebody that may be coming and telling you, and you don't even know where they're at or what kind of condition they're in. But just having that whole picture put together, I can imagine that is such an important perspective to take, because if you miss any one major component, you're gambling with your life here.
Yeah, but here's the cool thing with the medications. When they're done right and the care that you get, if you're doing the habit change with us too, if we're teaching you how to lift, if we are teaching you how to eat, and you're using these things, you're gonna see results faster than you normally would. And I'm not here to make big stupid promises of like, in a week you can look like this or feel like that. What I am saying is change is hard, and when we're in this type of space with our bodies, right? You put a month, you put 2 months in, and like you're not seeing anything. It's giving up sounds real easy, real expected at that point. We help people with the medications get quick wins before that happens. And it's almost like a change management thing, right? Then they start to build off of those and we work them through that process until they're not getting a service from us. This is like lifting weights and eating this certain way. And getting your exercise in, that's what they do. We've anchored that change in their life, right? This wasn't a fad. This wasn't a project to get to a point where I can now go back to the couch, right?
Right.
It's a lifestyle that we teach.
Yeah, so it's not just, you're not just saying, here's some medication, here's a prescription, here's a couple pills to take, but here's a plan for the whole process, so that people can get to a rhythm and develop a strategy that they follow, changing the lifestyle.
You get the physician's cell phone number, his email, a way to communicate with them through our electronic medical record software. It all depends on what you want, what your communication preference is, but we are a concierge service, right? You get to, and that's one of the benefits of small business too, is that number one, when you're calling in, you're either talking to me, or my partner, or you're one step away from us, because that's all we have.
Right.
And we really stood Ignite Performance and Health up to be a transparent, care-based alternative to all the different places we see around town doing these similar things, just in a disparate manner. But our brand is care. Like we can't afford not to take care of you as a small business.
Right, and that's another question I've got up here. We're predicting my future here. He can understand. Maybe you
sorry.
can do this. No, that's good. That's insightful, and I'm glad you brought it up, because when you bring it up, a little more to the point. But yeah, small business owners, when you get to work directly with the doctor, directly with the owner, and somebody who is a nutritionist who's got the history and the training, then as opposed to, and nothing against the technicians, we love people that are going to work and getting paid to make a decent living, but you want to have direct access to the people that are making these health decisions, because these are big, impactful decisions that have to be made and followed and diagnosed and prescribed correctly.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest, you can get a lot of different levels of care out there for both the GLP-1 and the hormone replacement therapy. Know who you're getting your care
I can
from.
get them on Facebook. Right? I saw that.
Yeah, you can, and then you can get them on Facebook through legitimate paid ads, and you can get them through Facebook from guerrilla ads, where people that don't have licensed, monitored, accredited companies are selling you this stuff secondhand. So careful with who you're dealing with.
Well, and with that in mind, that kind of leads to the next question. Tell me, what's the biggest mistake people make with regard to their health? Is just not addressing it, or going about it haphazardly? What is the biggest problem you see?
Doing one piece and not the other, or if I were to use a technical term, they think, well, I'd like to do this, but I don't necessarily want to do that. I think people are really willing to buy the drugs. They're even willing to do the training. They're not willing to focus on the nutrition and really revamp how they eat. That would be one of the biggest ones. And we have some techniques that we use to really help them do this through our nutrition coaching program. And if you jump in and you do everything, it will work. But we have if you come into our gym, big written across the wall, it says nothing changes if nothing changes, right? And your lifestyle has to change. You're not going to eat the same things. You're not going to drink the same things and you're not going to do or not do the same activities, because if you go back to that, you're going to get the same results, and it's not working for you, obviously, if you've come there, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what I can imagine. The biggest mistake somebody might make, and it could be detrimental. I mean, this isn't like I painted the wall the wrong color. This is, hey man, I'm just throwing stuff out there.
But I will say the other thing is that if you are doing hormone replacement therapy of any kind, and you're not doing blood work, you should not be doing the hormone replacement therapy. Okay, I don't care if you're 18 and you think this is a cool way to get bigger in the gym. I don't care if you've got if you're seeing an endocrinologist because you have a real hormone issue. Doesn't matter. If you're going to a legitimate clinic, if you're not getting your blood work tested at least every 6 months, when you come to do a testosterone protocol with us, for example, we do an initial lab analysis and a physician visit, and if you qualify for treatment, we send you back to the lab every 6 weeks until we get both your dosage titrated to the correct level, and we know exactly how all of the different levels, whether that be your HDL cholesterol or your PSA or your hemoglobin, your hematocrit, things that we generally check, we have a whole profile on you, and only then do we move you to a 6-month profile. So I would say the biggest mistake is not knowing what you should be looking out for. If you're counting on that professional to read your blood work, make sure it's a professional that's reading your blood work, because sometimes they just don't understand what they're looking at. I've seen people with blood work come to me from their primary care physician, and their hemoglobin was at 19 and their hematocrit was like 53, and those numbers don't mean anything to you, but what they mean is that person is now at a much more increased risk for a blood clot. They saw the numbers on the paper, but that's not what they do. That's not the type of medicine they practice. So they just say, yeah, you should get this number down. It's in the red. We teach people how to actually...
Blood clots are bad. That's what causes strokes, and you can have lots of issues there.
Yeah.
Things to talk about. All right, we're up against another break here, but we want to jump in and some of the fun stuff we're doing in the community. Take a quick look here at what
Sure.
we're talking about.
No, what? So we went down Lindbergh the other way. That took us way back.
Yeah, 20 minutes to get down Lindbergh.
Way back to the old school, from an old school. We went all the way down Lindbergh up to Lee, turn around, come back, just like we used to be back in the day. We're only about halfway through it. Go back out of here, go up to Ronnie's. How long is this thing
Until
going?
9 o'clock.
How far
It's
down
gonna
the
be
strip
packed.
do you go? Does it go all the way
From
up to
Ronnie's
Grandma?
to Hooters.
Ronnie's the
3
Hooters.
mile little lap right there.
There it is. All right, Jason McCobb. This guy's a legend.
Thanks for
And
coming out today. I appreciate you,
big
brother.
supporter of the Cardinal Cowboy.
Much love.
Been on Your Little Castle show. Hey, I forgot. We got a new thing. We're taking that interview and we cut it into clips.
All right.
Now we've got new AI clips. I'm going to give those to you. Remember, with Jason on for another half hour, just from what we're doing here today. Had to get him an intro and talk about it.
You're killing it on Airbnb now, aren't you?
You know,
I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
by the way, if you need a consultant for Airbnb, we've learned a little bit. This guy's a master at that.
I just learned a lot through trial and error. It's not,
And
it
this-
ain't easy, but
and
we're
this-
doing it.
And this young, he hooked us up, told us what to do, and now this young lady
Killing it.
makes a
Love it.
living off
Love
of
it.
one place almost. So keep it
Well,
up,
thank you guys for coming out today. Much love.
man. If you need any help with REI, real estate and investing, right here, Jason the Cowboy. All right,
Like
Mike.
everybody winning.
Is that your
Like I said, that's the Boss Hog
All
Cadillac.
right, you know what I'm driving now?
There you go. You the Boss Hog?
I'm driving a
All right.
Caddy.
Hey, you got the white outfit.
I got
You
the
already have
outfit. I
white
got the
hair.
whole thing. I'm driving a cat.
There you go.
My storage shirt, my Lincoln Nautilus. They call me. They go, "What's the problem with the title? Somebody faked the VIN." I was driving for a year. They had to
Didn't
give me,
even know.
They gave me my money back. My buddy goes, "I got this XT6. You know what that is?
No.
That's the Cadillac SUV.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's like the grown-up version, the newer, modern version of that right
of
there.
the boat. That's the yacht.
All right, we'll go
You gotta
check it out.
dock that thing.
That's right. All right, we'll be back. Everybody.
All right, see you
Get
guys.
him.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up! Well, in a world of media, we like to emphasize, putting together these pieces and helping businesses get their name out. If you're interested in learning a little more about how media works, pick up our book here. This is it. By there's Steve Kidd and Willie J. was just on here. He's going to be on here later this week. Magnetized Media, #1 seller on Amazon. Yours truly, Carter Rethwich, Cardinal Cowboy, wrote the foreword on this. And I can tell you there's a lot of great information in this book that helps you to understand the way media has evolved and changed. And that's why I wrote my master's thesis called The Internet. I thought this thing might have an impact some time ago. Lucky guess, right? But how has the technology changed? I mean, you use a lot of technology in your business, and then you've got websites and social media. Tell me about the impact and where it affects what you guys do.
So, I mean, technology is what drives how we capture data about all of our clients, right? So we use, for example, we use an ultrasound wand to do body fat analysis. Okay. So no more of the days of like holding the little thing on the in body to get it. That works on something called bioimpedance, and you can cheat the system. So we use this ultrasound. We use and then just mobile apps and how we're able to load everyone's strength training programs in there, all their nutrition goals and meal plans for the day in there, and then we can take the data back out that they use, that they're dumping in, what they're doing. We can combine that with their medical protocols, their blood work, and that ultrasound, and then we can plug that into an AI model, which runs our ignition sequence background, that then kind of gives us a whole analysis and recommendations for how to change their program, how to change their diet, how to change their dosages. So we're kind of continually evolving each patient, each client's plan and program as we go. Like almost, I want to say weekly, but sometimes it's like 10 to 14 days.
Okay, that's a pretty frequent change, but you're adapting to what they need.
That's what we're doing. We're just learning about them. We're getting profiles of their specific bodies. We're learning what they can and can't do, where their deficiencies are, both internal and external, and working through custom supplement formulation, peptide sciences, and then hormones and GLP-1 and nutrition to satisfy all that.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got kind of the all-encompassing plan here that helps people from across the board. By now, people got to be asking, how do they get started? What's the process? Walk me through it a little bit. Go to the website.
It's really easy. Go to our website, ignitepah.com. It's on the screen there. If you hit any of those start today buttons or schedule a consult buttons, basically it takes you to my calendar. You come in and we do a completely free consultation. If you decide that you want to do anything with us that involves hormones, you'll probably walk out of there that day with a lab order. We'll send you, we outsource to a local partner who will draw your labs, and then when the results are in, you'll make we'll schedule you to come in and see our physician, right? And then he'll do a medical intake with you, medical history, drug interactions, all that stuff. And if you're eligible, we actually will start treatment for you right there in the clinic that day for the medical side. And if you're interested in the strength training or the nutrition coaching programs, we get you started all in the same day. Wow. So you'll walk out of there with a plan for the next 6 months or a year if you want it, right? That says, here's what we're doing, here's how we're doing it, here's how we're going to measure it and change it. And basically we get you started in the clinic. The rest, your prescriptions, just like any other pharmacy, will come within a couple of days. We teach you, we coach you through the whole process of how to use everything. We work with you while you're in the gym a lot. We focus on folks that are over 40. Okay. Everything that we do, yeah, right, me too. Everything we do in that gym is designed to build lean muscle mass while introducing the least amount of injury risk possible. We're not there to set any goals or make any make anybody think we're tough. We're just trying to lift for life. We get you started on a program, and we generally get people, they'll come in one day for a consultation, and sometimes they're in there training and dealing with the doctor the next.
Nice. Tell me that a lot of people might have some objections, some questions. What is the biggest concern people have when they're talking about doing these types of therapies and treatments that you offer?
Sure. The biggest concern for folks is they still have some stigma around the hormone replacement therapy or the GLP-1. There was a women's initiative study published in the early 2000s that basically still has women running scared, saying if you take estrogen, you will get breast cancer. However, that study has been completely debunked since then, and now in more current double-blind research trial control studies, they've found that estrogen, the increase in risk for breast cancer if you're on an estrogen supplement is less than 1%, and it tremendously increases early detection. right? Because we're checking those things. Men, they think that they get a lot of misnomers of it from the bodybuilding world, right?
Okay.
Like, is it going to make me road rage? Can I never come off of it? Is it going to make me sterile for life? All of those are perfectly natural questions, but they're not. They're just unfounded, right? The truth is that when you do this under a medical professional and a team that knows what they're doing, it is very safe. It is very effective, and it really is a quality of life augmenter. The other challenges for folks when they come in is we don't just ask, look, I'm not here selling drugs. I'm not selling prescriptions and promises. I'm selling habit change with the drugs as a way to make that habit change faster,
Right.
and let you see results faster. But it's not a, hey, just take a shot or a pill and everything gets fine. So for some people, I think the other biggest challenge is if I was selling, if I was selling Cadillacs, people aren't afraid to spend a lot of money on Cadillac. You know what we don't like spending a lot of money on? Ourselves.
True.
We don't. We just don't. And this is the most selfish purchase you can make. It's also the most selfless one, because what your loved ones want is you around, and they want a good version of you around for a long, long time, and that's what we're selling.
Yeah. How many people have been through a medical crisis with a family member, a loved one, but it impacted my mom dramatically, and we just kind of looked at her like, Mom, it's till death do you part, and he took care of you for a long time, and she spent 5 years taking care of my dad, taking him everywhere, putting him in a wheelchair. I would imagine there's a lot of great resources. I see you've got the resources tab here on your website. Tell me a little bit about what people can find here, and just give us some. What are the resources?
You can find a whole lot. First of all, those 3 ebooks that we've got right there are completely free resources. One talks about our body recomposition program. One talks about menopause, and the other one talks about a guide to using GLP-1s. And if you are considering using a GLP-1, by the way, I don't just tell you, take a GLP-1, it's great, come buy our GLP-1s. We tell you all of the stuff that can go wrong, that can go right, why it goes wrong, why it goes right. We got a series of videos that talk about all of these different topics a little bit more in depth with me and my partner, who's the medical director. We've got some podcast stuff down there where if you're more interested in kind of a little bit more casual discussion, a lot of information throughout all of those different things. We've been featured in some local publications. But here's the thing, if you're going to read one thing on that resources page, at the very bottom, one of our first clients, he just did some before and after pictures, so he's on our results page. But there's a video there of a short interview with him if you've got 5 minutes of your life to really understand what our program is like. It's that one that says client testimonial, yeah. This will take you to a video with Dave. Dave was our first client. This is how good my video skills are. I'm just in this dark, poorly lit room talking to the man. But you'll get to hear about what his reservations were, what he thought the keys to success were, and where he's at now, about 8 months later. He's a different human. He came in sitting in my office like a puddle of goo, thought his life was just going to be like this now, and he's in the best shape he's been in probably 30 years. Just loving it.
There you have it, everybody. Ignite Performance and Health. I'm going to go pay them a visit coming up here, guys. Check them out. Giddy up.